everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today I wanted to try and build something different. I was slightly inspired by the new roommate feature that we got with Discover University, so I wanted to build something that could kind of, or work with that feature, I suppose. So these are student buildings, student housing, student apartments. I don't really know what to call these in English, to be honest. But basically, they're 3 row houses or townhouses. I think you'd call them row houses. I don't really know. Anyways, my first language isn't English, so that's just that. But anyways, so they're basically 3 townhouses next to each other, and each floor in each house is for a different student or for a different household. So the bottom floor here is for one student and the second floor is for another student, and then you just triple that. So we got rooms for 6 different students on this lot. So basically I just built one house and then I copy pasted it twice so that they look identical. The only thing that isn't identical is obviously the interior and also the bicycles outside, and also I did put some decor at the back as well, because the person on the ground floor, or the sim on the ground floor, does have their own little hangout area at the back of the house. But the person that lives on the second floor doesn't have access to that area. However, they do have their own terrace. So there's ups and downs choosing the top floor and the bottom floor. The bottom floor does have a bigger outdoors area to, hang out at with friends and stuff. That made no sense. Hopefully you get what I mean anyways. But the second floor does have a little bit more privacy and their own terrace. So there will be pluses and minuses to choosing either of the 2 apartments, but I had a lot of fun building this lot. I don't want to call it a house because it's technically 3 houses. I don't know, I had a lot of fun building these apartments. Let's leave it at that. So I hope you guys will like them. It was inspired, or the houses were inspired by a picture that I found on Pinterest, because I was looking at these sort of student housing or row houses, townhouses that could sort of fit into Foxbury, so more contemporary looking houses maybe. And I found this picture that hopefully, because usually I forget to actually plop in the picture, which is why I, never actually save my inspiration pictures, and also because I closed them down after no time because I just don't want to copy it. But this time I did follow the inspiration picture quite closely because I just liked how it looked and I wanted to try and build something a little bit different. So I don't know, I needed some inspiration for that, but I'll try to remember to put in the picture so you guys can see what the original houses look like. And yeah, I hope you guys will like this little speed build. So yesterday I did put up a video where I talked about the new challenge that I'm doing here on the channel. So it's been requested so many times if I could start a shell build challenge. It's a bit of a mouthful for me, not going to lie. Shell build challenge. But I finally decided to do it. So if you haven't seen it already and you want to enter that little competition, contest, challenge, whatever we want to call it, you can do that. The rules are written in a pinned comment on that video, but I just wanted to point it out in case you hadn't seen it. It went up yesterday, and I know that a lot of you guys have been requesting that challenge from me, so I'm also so excited to go through all the entries, by the way, because there's a lot of you guys out there that are so creative, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with. But anyways, I just wanted to point it out in case some of you guys hadn't noticed the video or the challenge or something, so, and you're really interested in that challenge, by the way. So I also need to point out regarding this build, by the way, before I forget, that I decided to only decorate 2 of the apartments. So the house on the right side is decorated. I've done the floor plan for the other 2 houses, but the apartments in both of those houses are empty, so you can decorate it according to your liking. So I just figured the video was already pretty long, and I knew that I wouldn't have time to decorate all the interiors. Interiors usually take me a lot longer compared to like house shells, for example, because I go into detail. I like to clutter up everything, so I would have had to choose between cluttering up and going into detail with 2 of the apartments, or just kind of rushing through all 6 of them. So I decided to just clutter up 2 of them, but that means that you guys can decorate the other 2 according to your liking. You can make them super simple if you want to. I did add some wallpaper in there just to give you guys a bit of the I don't know, inspiration for some color scheme or something, and also to make them look very different from each other, because we are going for, I think, blue and yellow for the bottom apartment in the right building, and then we're going for red and yellow for the top one, inspired by the Foxbury logo, whatever. So, because I haven't used that yet, I've only been decorating in bright. Actually, that's not true. The opposite storm that I did was in Foxbury, but I didn't really do anything Foxbury related in that build. So, but other than that, I think I've only done. Yeah, I've actually not done that many university or dorm room, university housing or whatever. I've only done the dorm rooms and then the Britechester university housing. I'm looking at my channel right now, so I know. That's kind of worrying. I need to do more. So anyways, let me know if you want to see more dorm room renovations, because I am planning on renovating the dorms in both Britechester and Foxbury for the save file. I don't want to rebuild the whole thing. I just want to renovate them. So because I get to take inspiration from the exterior if I do it like that, and I'm a little bit penthouses, right? It took me a long time before I built the first penthouse, and I'm not really ready to just jump into doing 4 of them, because technically the dorm buildings are penthouses. So I think I'll just renovate them, take some inspiration from the exterior and just renovate them. But let me know if that's something you want to see here on the channel. Otherwise, I'll just do it off cam at some point when I got time, sometime in the future. I don't know when that is, because literally I am so busy with YouTube all the time. Not complaining, by the way, I love to do this. So I think you guys know this by now. I love to do this. So yeah, but let me know if that's something you want to see. I can definitely make that happen. So what I'm doing right now, by the way, in case you're wondering, it's because I felt like the path outside the houses just looked a little bit too simple. So I went into pool decor, or it might be fountain decor. I'm not fully sure. But there are these slabs, so I basically framed up the entire path with those slabs. I did cut out most of it because I just didn't, it was a little bit too repetitive, it was really boring, so, but basically those slabs will be found on, you know, wherever there is path on this build, there are slabs, or it's framed up with slabs, just because I thought it looked really nice, and just added a little bit more detail. Plus, if you look at the pathway next to the house, it's kind of, it's raised up a little bit. It's like it's on a foundation, the lowest level foundation or something, and I couldn't really do that because you can't raise the foundation right up against the path, because, you know, it would have to be on the edge of the lot. Does that make any sense? And you can't actually place foundation on the edge of the lot. It has to be 1 square into the lot. It's like with walls. You can't place a wall right up against the edge of the lot, which is why we can't really do proper townhouses. So that kind of sucks. By the way, I would love to make that happen for us, but unfortunately we can't. So I hope at some point that'll be possible, but so far it's not. I don't know why it is like that though. It's a little bit weird. It's like with fence. You can't place it at the edge of the lot. It has to be 1 square into the lot. Does this make any, you know what I mean? Like, if you're a builder, you probably know what I mean. But you can't do the same with foundation, so I couldn't do the raised up looking thing, and that's just whatever. So I decided to frame it up with slabs, was my point. Anyways, been talking about this for 2 minutes now. We are into the decor on the ground floor. So this is, I made them sort of like opposites actually. So the sim that lives here on the ground floor is very into computer science. I kind of see them being into like physics as well, but also robotics. They're just, you know, a geeky kind of sim, basically. And then the sim that lives on the second floor is very into sports. They're probably not doing great with their studies. I kind of feel like they might have ended up at the wrong university or something. I don't really know. So that's just my imagination, probably. Maybe they're doing great because they're in contact with a tutor or something. You know, like in the high school movies where the jock is always struggling a little bit, so they need to have a tutor. I'm totally thinking about One Tree Hill right now, and I might also be the only one who knows what that is, because a lot of you guys out there are younger than me. But anyways, you know what would be funny? If the person or the sim, stop calling them people, they're sims, they're pixelated people anyways. It could be funny if the sim on the second floor, the jock, is struggling in school, but they're being tutored by the sim that lives here on the ground floor, who is a major geek. There's nothing wrong with being a major geek, by the way. When I use the word geek, I don't mean anything offensive with it. I call myself a geek all the time, just want to point that out, okay? Because I do know that some people see or hear geek and they think negative, but I don't. So I just wanted to point that out. Also, there's a lot of different things in these two apartments actually, because I did want to make sure that they had fully functioning apartments. So they both have dressers, beds, also a study area slash desk with computer. I think the person on the second floor has a laptop while the person on the ground floor, or the Sims. Stop calling them people. Anyways, the Sim on the ground floor has like a full-on setup with 3 monitors total, which is pretty cool. I kind of want a third monitor, not going to lie. I just feel like I can't look at 3 screens at the same time, so I don't really know what would be the point for me. Anyways. But they also have a mini fridge. I decided not to give, I think I gave the Sim on the second floor a counter just because I've heard that you can't actually cook without a counter. So the only thing you can do if you have a mini fridge plus a microwave is basically warm up food from the fridge, but that's it. You can't actually cook anything. So I felt like putting a counter in the apartment on the second floor. And then they also both have bathrooms, their own bathrooms, they don't need to share, and also a dining area, and actually also a TV. So they have both a couch and also a TV, just to make it a little bit more luxurious. Maybe they have friends over, they can watch a game or something, or a movie, or I don't know, whatever, and also eat together, because they both have multiple chairs, not just for the one Sim living in the apartment. So it's not a proper tiny house size, but it's not huge either. It is a studio. Everything is in one room except from the bathroom. So everything is just like open, basically. It's one plant, everything is open, no closed off areas, that sort of thing. But I felt like that would be natural too. It's kind of inspired by, I had a friend who she went to design school and she lived in the same city as the design school was in. I went to the same design school for a while, but I dropped out because no thank you. And anyways, but she lived there while I lived in the city that I live in now. And she lived in this sort of studio apartment, so it's slightly inspired by that. Because they did have this area with, apartments that were specifically for students, and they came with their own kitchen. They had to share the bathroom with another person, though, that had their own apartment too, but still, studio apartments, by the way. So they had their own kitchen, like I said, and they also had this little corner where they could have, during the day, they could have like a TV area, so they'd have a couch there, and then at night they could turn the couch into a bed. So it was kind of inspired by that a little bit as well. Completely ignore the fact that I chose the Britechester bed. I was like, green is the way to go, but then I noticed there was a dragon on it. I was like, maybe not, because we are in Foxbury, so I don't want to offend anyone. I don't want to offend any lobsters out there. Don't worry, the dragon is not coming to Foxbury. We are staying with the lobster, so Larry will be fine. Larry will be happy. I don't know if that's his name. I just feel like the gurus talked about Larry Lobster on Twitter a little bit when the trailer came out or something. I'm not fully certain. But anyways, I actually I decided to give them a punching bag just to emphasize that they are a jock. And later on, I also went into the debug catalog actually, because City Living comes with a basketball and Discover University comes with a soccer ball or a football, whatever you want to call that, depending on where you're from. For me, it's a little bit like 50-50. Some days I'll call it soccer, some days I'll call it football. I don't really know. I don't really care. So anyways, but yeah, we have these two different sports balls, so I decided to put those in there. I also I filtered out all other packs, so I only had base game, because there is actually a baseball bat that came with base game. I don't think it's supposed to be for sports. I think it's possibly, something tells me it's got something to do with the villain career, but I'm not fully certain either. But anyways, so I found that and also put it in here. So there's a lot of different like sports activities for this person to do. I also put some trophies around. I also found the football jerseys or soccer jerseys, whatever those are. I don't know, some kind of jerseys from Kids Room Stuff Pack, and there's also a shelf with some trophies on it from Kids Room Stuff Pack as well. So I just pulled out all the sports related decor that I could think of and put it in this room. So to make sure that you guys knew, this is definitely someone who's very into sports, someone who's probably a little bit good at sports too, and is definitely on the Foxbury sports team. So yeah. I actually think I like the layout of this apartment better than the bottom floor, to be honest, just because the bedroom area is closed off, or the bed area is closed off a little bit better than the bottom floor, because I did decide to put the bookcase in front or next to the bed actually, so it just closes it off a little bit better, while the bottom floor, both the study area and also the TV area was a little bit closed off, but if you walked in through the front door, you could basically see the bed on the right side almost. You just had to go past the bathroom door to get there. So I don't really know. I think I like the layout of this apartment just a little bit better, but definitely let me know what you think. And also, by the way, if you decide to download this house or these houses and you decorate the other 2 houses, so the 4 other apartments, I'd love to see pictures of them, so you can tag me on Twitter if you decide to put them up on Twitter. I would love to see that, or I don't know, if you put them on your Instagram stories or something, you can tag me there as well. I check my Instagram literally all the time because I like to procrastinate. So I'll be on there too. But yeah, I love to see pictures of that. And speaking of Instagram, I don't think I've ever actually mentioned my username here on the channel, but it's just AvelineYT. So if you're interested in following me on Instagram, you can. I do post my builds over there too, and sometimes I'll post like pictures from my day or whatever in my story and stuff, so I don't know. Anyways, I don't think I've ever mentioned that on the channel, maybe like once or twice or something, but I honestly don't remember. But it's just AvelineYT in one word, so it basically stands for Aveline YouTube because I am so creative. Anyways, that was sarcasm, just need to point that out. So we are moving on to the exterior, or the remaining parts of the exterior now. So first of all, I put some lamps on the house, or some lights on the house, just to make sure that the students can see something when they come home from school, if it's late or something. I don't know. It gets late here at like 3:30 now, and it's kind of depressing, not going to lie. Like, I feel like it gets dark around 2. Like, it starts to get dark around 2, and then by 3:30 it's just completely gray outside and the sun is basically gone by 4. I don't know, I don't like it. I want the sun back, which is something that I'd never imagined myself saying, but hey, I need the sun. I just need like a few more hours of sunlight every day, but I also know that it's just going to get worse from now on. So the shortest day, I believe, is possibly the 21st of December, but I could be wrong about that, to be honest. I don't really remember, but in Scandinavia, it's much worse up north, by the way. I just want to say that. I'm in Denmark, and I'm not like in northern Denmark either. I'm pretty, it's quite in like central Denmark. So it gets really dark very early in Scandinavia, but it's way worse further up north. That's also during the summer, it's basically light all the time. Like, there's sun all the time up north. It's so weird. I know this is not important to the build whatsoever, by the way. I just really need to voice my concern for the sun and the fact that it doesn't want to come out and say hi now and then. It's just gray all the time, and I miss seeing the sun. Never thought I'd say that, but hey, now you got it. You can quote me on that anyways. So just adding a few more details to the exterior, basically. I used the new feature with the columns. You can basically like extend them height-wise, and I thought it would make more sense than to place 2 on top of each other, so I decided to do it like that. Both to make it look a little bit cleaner, because the edges are... I don't like just like the edges of walls when you just place down one wall. It just doesn't look pretty, so I like to frame it up with columns. So that's what we're doing, and also just to add a little bit more detail, so that's basically it. And yeah, I think we're pretty much done. So if you guys like this build, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, if you got any suggestions, please leave them in the comment section down below. Let me know what you want to see me build with university and all that stuff. Let me know anyways, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.